Hello everyone and welcome once again to Learning English Online with me, Professor Geoffrey. Now today we're going to take a very brief look at the difference between trip and travel. Many of you express concern, when should I use travel and when should I use trip? There is a simple answer, although it can get complicated. So today we're just going to look at the simplicity of it, and I will make a part 2 to this video for those of you that want to go more in depth into the difference. But what you need to know for now is that travel is a verb. It's an action word. That's the definition of a verb. And trip is a noun. Okay? We can use travel sometimes as a noun. We can also use it as an adjective. But I will go into that in part 2 of this video. Okay? For now, for those of you that just want a quick reference between travel and trip, try to remember this. When you travel, you go on a journey. Travel is usually to travel between point A and point B over long distances. So I traveled from Scotland to Brazil, which in fact I did, because that's where I came from. However, I would never use travel to say that I went to the local supermarket, because it's not over a long distance. So you say, I went on a trip to the local supermarket. Okay, so trip is usually used for shorter distances. And it's worth noting that trip is also a noun. So when I said that sentence, that travel is a verb and is used to say something like travel is used when we want to go on a journey. Trip is used when we mean a journey. Okay? So one is an adjective and one is a noun. And that's the basic difference you need to remember. If you're traveling, yeah, use the verb travel. If you want to say you've been somewhere like, or for instance in this sentence, where is John? John's on a business trip to Germany. We do not say John is on business travel to Germany. So it's more common to use travel as a verb and trip as a noun. Okay, and trip can replace the word journey sometimes. But if you're just talking about a very, very short space, i.e. from here to the local supermarket, then trip is going to be used more than the verb travel, because it just doesn't make sense to say I traveled to the supermarket. Yeah. Okay, so I hope that's cleared up the main differences. Okay, remember one, verb. And what is a verb? A verb is an action word. Trip, a noun. What is a noun? It's a naming word. It's a word we use to name more or less everything. Table, carpet, the sky, the moon, a chair. These are all nouns. And so is trip. Trip can be used as a verb, but it has a totally different meaning. And that will come in part 2 of this lesson, okay? So remember, this is just a simple one to help you if you are confused as to when to use travel and when to use trip. Okay, so let's take a look at this PDF, which I hope will make it clearer for you when to use travel, when to use trip, and when to use journey. Okay, so we can see here there were 7 questions in this questionnaire. Now that I've completed them, they're going to be statements. So let's have a look. Steve's on a business trip in South America. We do not say Steve's on a business travel, okay? Steve is the verb, and this is used as a noun, business trip. The journey from Manchester to London by train takes about 2.5 hours. So in this case, journey is also being used as a noun. My trip to Spain lasted over 2 weeks. I went, past tense, to Madrid, Valencia, Malaga, and Granada. Now here we see that Eric Newby wrote a book about his travels in Afghanistan in 1956. Okay, so we add an S to the word travel, okay, when we are talking about a long, extended journey, like if you go to explore the interior of Africa, we would say travels. And when we use it in this sense with an S on it, it's normally always preceded by an adjective pronoun. In this case, his. Could be your, could be my, yeah? His travels in Afghanistan in 1956. So this means that he made lots of journeys around Afghanistan. So we use the word travels with an S. We went on a trip to Paris to celebrate my wife's birthday, okay? We would never say we traveled a trip, or we traveled a trip. We went on a trip because we have the noun already here. My journey to work today was horrible. I was stuck in a traffic jam for 2 hours, okay? And here we use the word travel, and it's being used in a general concept, yeah? Air travel is much faster and cheaper nowadays compared to 50 or 60 years ago. Remember, if we're using travel as a verb and we're using it personally, yeah, depending on which tense you are in, I travel, you travel, he, she, it travels. Past tense, I traveled, you traveled. Okay. When we come to part 2 of the video, I will explain to you the other use of the word, or the word trip when it's used as a verb, but it has a totally different meaning. Okay, so that's it today, short and sweet. I hope that's cleared it up for you when you are writing in English, when to use travel, when to use trip, and if you like, when to use journey. Okay, so that's all from me for now. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please don't forget, if you want to receive news about our videos as and when we upload them, then please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and don't forget to punch that bell. You'll be one of the first to receive a notification when we put a video here on the channel. Now, also, if you have any comments or any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I will try to answer you as quickly as possible. So that's all for today from me, Professor Geoffrey, saying bye-bye if you're from Brazil. Ciao.